As we help organizations around the world build the world's greatest coaching systems, I keep finding a very common misconception. It's most often seen that coaching is something that leaders do to reps. What we found is what leads to the greatest coaching sessions in the world is if rep and leader both realize that they have a piece of the puzzle. There's two sides to the coaching coin. The first side, the leaders have to have consistency and create a cadence of we're going to intentionally improve. Regardless if you're the star performer all the way down to the dog that we can't coach out of the kennel, we're going to have a way that we can consistently improve. On the flip side of the coin, reps need to have the understanding that it's my job to self-correct. It's my job to come to this session with ideas on what are the things that I think will help me the most? What are the things that will drive me that I'm really excited to change? So with that said, leader and rep both have responsibilities for creating a world-class coaching session, and I found that it's easiest to do if the 4 P's of coaching are in place. Now, P1 is a focus on the past, okay? As we're getting ready to go, the leader, they need to understand what the drivers of success are. What has led to success, not just with this rep, but with my team in general? Let's stack rank where the reps are, see where this rep falls, and let's make sure we understand what's been driving the success in general so I can be really well prepared to collaborate and have a next level conversation rather than a what's missing conversation. For the rep, their version of the first P is to ask themselves, how am I doing? Look in the mirror. Let's be really honest with ourselves. What's my production? What's my process look like? And maybe most important, what's my approach to change? As I've been trying to change, how have I done? That conversation and that lens is so important for a rep to ask themselves, what's my approach to change? That takes us to the second P, where we've got to prioritize. As we prepare for this coaching session, and as we have the coaching session, we need to have a good way of prioritization of what do we need to talk about. So that's why for a leader, this is where we do really want to benchmark performance. We really want to see where does the rep stand, but we're not going to do this in the lens of change something or else. It's going to be in the lens of where do you want to be? How do we help you intentionally move from wherever you are to wherever you're going to go? And there's a lot of things that we need to benchmark as part of that. I'm not just talking about benchmarking performance, benchmark activities, benchmark competencies, benchmark efficiencies. On the rep side, they really need to review their own activities and ask themselves what's working and what's not. Did I get the most out of my month last month? Did I get the most out of my week last week? We want them to self-score what their activity level looks like. And if we can understand what needs to change in the eyes of the rep, it's very easy for us to connect and maybe add some context. It's been said by many different people, if context is king, if content is king, context is God. I want us to make sure that we understand their content so we can give context as leaders. That takes us to the third P. This is the one that I think is the most powerful. Can we predict which one of those prioritizations will have the biggest impact? Which activities do we need to change? Which competencies do we need to improve? Do I need to change my activity mix? Do I need to change my skill level? For the leaders, that means we've got to have a way of modeling what does awesome look like. Do you have a way that you can say, if you change this, it's worth this much to you? If you do this, production will change by this much. On the flip side, your sales reps, their job is to say, where do I want to be? You need to segment the team, and you can have stars, high core, core, low core, and poor. We want to make sure that the rep sees where they are and they point, where do I want to go? Let's give them a tool that helps them visualize, where do I want to be? So then you as a leader can say, I'll help you get there. And that takes you to the fourth P. How do we collaborate, okay? And I'm sorry, what's our plan? For a leader, should I just start over on that?
Start with the fourth.
Yeah, okay. And that takes us to our fourth P. How do we plan for the future? Now, from a leader, we have to ask ourselves, how do we collaborate? How do I help them? The great litmus test for a sales leader. Am I helping people improve more with my help than they would have done if I left them to their own? So we need to be able to ask ourselves in that fourth P, what's the collaboration plan? Where am I going to insert myself? What are the things I'm going to do to naturally help them improve? For the rep, that side of the coin is, what's my plan to execute? What's my execution plan? And we want them to be able to articulate what that execution plan is with the understanding of what they need to do, but maybe more important, how do we record it? And most important of all, how are we going to evaluate success? If they can leave with clarity of the plan on what they do, how we record it, and how we measure success, what you'll find is your reps will change faster and grow faster under your leadership than they ever thought possible. And really, this is the metaphor that we want to leave you with as you finish the world-class coaching session. It should be like a trip to the eye doctor. You put that little device over your face, and they start dropping lenses in and turning dials. You say left is blurry, right is clear, left is blurry. And you keep working back and forth, and they adjust the dials and change the context until you leave with a line of sight that you never had when you went in. If you can have that kind of a coaching session by leveraging the 4 Ps and leaving with a clear line of sight that did not exist when you first came in, you will find that coaching is not something that people will do because they have to. They will run to you wanting to have that coaching session because they know that with your help, they're moving faster than they ever thought possible. If you want to talk in more detail about the 4 Ps and how to make them come to life in your organization, or anything else around what makes for a world-class coaching session, hit us up, xvoyant.com, and let's get it started.